This is a Math 2 summary video for the lesson titled, I've Been Framed. This is a Solidify understanding task. The purpose of this task is to model a quadratic function and to interpret both the parts of the equation and the key features of the function. In this lesson, students will also learn about interval notation and finding key features of a function without a context. To understand the problem in this task, let's consider a similar problem. In the task, the picture in the frame is 8 by 10. In this example problem, we will explore a situation where the picture is 3 inches by 5 inches. We want to create a model that relates the width of the frame to the area of the wood of the frame, and then find and interpret the key features. Let's make x represent the width of the frame, and a of x represent the area of the frame. The area of a rectangle is found by multiplying the length and width. The frame is made up of 4 rectangles. The width of the rectangles on the left and right sides of the frame is x units long, and the height of these rectangles is 3 plus 2x. I got the 3 plus 2x for the height by adding the 3 from the height of the picture and 2 x's to include the width of the wooden frame. The area of these 2 rectangles can be found by multiplying the length by the width. And since there are 2 of these rectangles, we need to multiply this expression by 2. Now we need to add the area of the other 2 rectangles that make up the frame. The 2 rectangles on the top and bottom of the frame can be found by multiplying the width, which is 5 units long, by the height, which is x units long. There are 2 of these rectangles, so we need to multiply this expression by 2. This gives us the equation, which can be simplified by first using the distributive property and then by combining like terms. Now that we have an equation, we can create a graph and find key features. When we are finding the domain, we are finding possible x values of the function. In this context, x represents the width of the frame. In my opinion, it isn't reasonable to have a width of a frame greater than 5 inches, which makes the domain x values between 0 and 5, including 5 inches, but not including a frame that is 0 inches, because that would mean that there wasn't a frame. With the range, if we assume that x can be greater than 0, but less than or equal to 5, we need to find the corresponding y values. When x is 0, y is 0. And when x is equal to 5, y is equal to 180. This makes the range y values that are greater than 0 and less than or equal to 180 square inches. Without a context, we can look at the entire quadratic function. The function makes the shape called a parabola. The domain, or possible x values of this function, is all real numbers. The range, or possible y values, are y values greater than or equal to negative 16. The axis of symmetry, which is the vertical line through the minimum point, is x equals negative 2. The minimum point, which is the point where the parabola changes from decreasing to increasing, is negative 2, negative 16. The x-intercepts, which are the points where the parabola passed through the x-axis, are negative 4, 0 and 0, 0. The y-intercept, or point where the parabola intersects the y-axis, is 0, 0. The interval of increase are x values where the function increases. The function increases when x increases from negative 2 to infinity, and the interval of decrease, which are values of x where the function is decreasing, is from negative infinity until negative 2. When writing key features of functions, we often use interval notation. Parentheses are used when there are less than or greater than symbols. Brackets are used when the value can be equal to. Here's our list of key features written with interval notation where appropriate. It's important to understand the meaning behind each key feature so that you do not get confused when listing or reading key features. For example, the minimum of a function is a coordinate point. It's listed as an ordered pair with parentheses. This is not interval notation. But the interval of increase, which gives all the x values when y is increasing, is also listed with parentheses and is written in interval notation.